buying it and turning it over to the Action Center. And I'm thinking that this zoning for the community resource facility would be applied to this piece of property. And it means that perhaps never would this property be anything but a community resource center, which I'm not sure I know exactly what it is. So that's what I'm here. Why? And the other thing that I'm going to bring forth, because I signed up for this as an ADA situation, and right now I am in the middle of some major health issues, and I don't have time to wait, and nor the energy. So I'm going to tell you this. Tonight you're going to vote on the bend, and I am going to strongly suggest that you do it. Absolutely, positively do this. Because until it gets done, none of us can fight with any kind of teeth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we have Lindsay Driver. Oh, sorry, thank you.
Hello. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I had to write this down so I don't mess it up. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. I am here to address a very serious issue affecting my neighborhood that's escalated dramatically over the past weekend. I'm nervous. Several days now, I've been voicing my concerns regarding the neighboring property that has become a hub for disturbing and dangerous activities. This house, located 2 doors down from my home and across the street from a high school in Ward 2, is occupied by individuals who are hoarding and enabling drug use. They've been bringing in trailers and campers onto the front lawn where drug users openly consume substances without any regard for the law or safety of our community. Despite my efforts to warn the law enforcement of the explicit open-air drug usage occurring there, the response unfortunately has been inadequate. This past Saturday, as fate was trying to signal the severity of the situation, the house absolutely exploded into flames. While I was relieved that no one was seriously harmed, as I know, the alarming reality is that chaos is surrounding this property, and it did not cease with the fire. Just last night, so that was Saturday, just last night, Sunday night, our neighborhood endured yet another significant fire at the same location. I was informed that one of the offenders has been arrested, yet the illegal activities in the lawn have persisted unabated. Law enforcement has expressed that they feel their hands are tied, unable to take stronger action until the building code inspector condemns the property or places no trespassing signs. My house truly almost caught on fire, twice. I cannot stress enough how dire the situation is. The delays in taking decisive action are causing real harm to my neighborhood, instilling fear in residents. We're about 100 strong right now, where I'm representing us. We are seeing needles littering the streets, even across from the school grounds, which is unacceptable. It is critical to act swiftly to mitigate these risks before they lead to further destruction of our homes and endanger the lives of our community. I hope you care about me and my neighborhood and do not allow for another fire or explosion. If there is another incident, it will be because action was not taken when you were made aware of this issue. We pay our tax dollars and we vote for you, and we have a high expectation that you will help us pull through. This is an emergency. While I understand that Denver is grappling with significant issues related to homelessness and substance abuse, we must prioritize the safety of otherwise innocent neighborhoods. I implore you to take action and get the city involved as soon as possible, ideally by tomorrow morning, to collaborate with local law enforcement in addressing this pressing matter and removing the squatters from this community. If we do not witness swift and effective intervention following numerous reports from concerned citizens, I fear that we will be at a loss for how to protect our community moving forward. Thank you so much for your time and attention to this urgent issue. Together, I hope that we can work to secure my neighborhood and restore any sense of safety for all its residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we then have Johnny Hatton, I think. Hatch. Then Ariana Kaiser, and then Rob Krokkey. And I see we have a number of folks that have joined us this evening for public comment. So for safety of everyone here, I'm going to ask you to please go ahead and join us and have a seat so we're not blocking doors and having the signs up with you and so that everyone can see behind you. So I'd ask you to please come in, go ahead and have a seat, and then Mr. Hatch, your 3 minutes will be set.
All right. Very similar to Lindsay, I share very similar concerns, but I'd also like to call out all the laws that are being broken. So Saturday night, an ADU at 8000 West 10th Avenue and Allison Street, right across Jeffco Public or Jeffco Open School, I believe, exploded. It literally shook houses blocks away. Like, my elderly neighbors were outside talking to me over the weekend, and they were afraid for their lives. 2 days later, still littered with garbage. Vehicles, people using heavy drugs. I have it on camera. I showed police in person, and it hasn't been condemned or cleared out or anything. It's not an active crime scene, although there's supposed to be an arson investigation. So you can go check it out yourselves. There might even be a third fire there tonight because it's been both of the last nights that it's been on fire, and we're pretty concerned. So I'm about to list over 25 laws that have been broken by them. So being a registered sex offender living in the first apartment building from the Jeffco Open School parking lot, this is the owner of the property across the street that exploded, and they're letting it be overrun by dangerous drug addicts, and they are also allowing them to cause an explosion on a Saturday night and then subsequently again on Sunday night because none of them were arrested. Open air hard drug use and selling across from a school. Public defecation in view of children, littering a yard with vehicles and fire hazards, including a gas tank I saw on my way here, right on the front lawn that kids in like second grade walk by alone on the way to school. They're also driving these cars. I watched them drive around and pull up on hard drugs right after they just smoked hard drugs. They're stealing and parking grocery carts full of junk in the same lawn. They tore down a fence with a neighboring property. They're doing all this 10 feet from two elderly people on hospice. So these people are bedridden, and they literally were 10 feet from the explosion and the fire. And then I watched the videos, too, of what the police, the EMS, and the firefighters had to go through on Saturday night. They literally had to saw the roof off of the ADU. And, I mean, this is all literally across, it's within 1,000 feet of a school. It's exposing children to dangerous behavior. There's been a lot of theft, a lot of vandalism, and property damage in the neighborhood recently. I found a backpack. My air conditioner was tipped over recently. That cost me hundreds of dollars to fix. It had weapons in it, a 10-inch buck knife, a sawed-off pellet gun, and the police came and said, we're just going to destroy it. There's nothing we can do. And then they're instilling fear in thousands of tax-paying citizens. I've talked to every neighbor who's like outside wondering what's going on, if it's going to get cleaned up. So if terrorizing elderly women and children in a family neighborhood next to a school isn't enough to get arrested in Lakewood, then I guess we would need like a complete overhaul or something, because I don't know who's going to protect us. Thank you.
Thank you. Ariana Kaiser.
Good evening, council members. I'm Ariana Kaiser. I'm an Iber neighborhood homeowner and resident and educator. I'm here for the same reason, because just days ago on May 10th, a drug lab exploded at 8000 West 10th Ave. This happened right in a residential neighborhood directly next to a pre-K through 12th grade school. That is children as young as 3 years old walking past this area every single day. Let that sink in. A confirmed drug lab in plain view of children in a school zone, and it happened during prom. And what's more shocking is the silence that followed. No public statement, no visible cleanup, no police presence, no accountability, and just an explosion, then business as usual, as if our children don't matter. As a resident, I am alarmed. As a neighbor, I am angry. And as someone who watches children walk these streets daily, I am outraged. We have people in the neighborhood suffering from drug addiction, severe mental health crisis, wandering the streets high, unpredictable, and aggressive. And while I do believe in compassion and support services, I should not have to beg for the basic right to feel safe. In Iber, I see children walking to school. There's Jefferson County Open School, there's Lakewood High School, and Iber Elementary as well. I see residents like myself who are hesitant to walk our dogs, knowing we will be harassed by individuals clearly struggling with severe substance use. And now I don't feel safe in my own home. I worry about what could happen when I'm gone. What might I come back to, or what might happen to my neighbors? That's not how anyone should live. You need to understand, this is not just a neighborhood safety issue, it is a child safety emergency. It is a school zone, and the city is failing to protect it. I've called Lakewood Police multiple times, and I keep being told an officer will drive by when they can, but I'm not seeing it. No patrols, no presence, no follow-up. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a resident, but the city isn't doing its part. So I know you can't give me answers, but I'm asking. What are you doing to protect our children? What is the response to a drug lab explosion steps away from where children learn and play? There are high school students at that school who have off-campus, and I don't know if that's safe to do for our high school students anymore. How are you allowing this to continue, and how is the city justifying inaction? What are you doing to remove hazardous waste and ensure neighborhood safety? And how is the city protecting law-abiding residents? We all want to live in a city that is safe, compassionate, and responsive. That starts with you. Please show us you're listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Rob Krokkey. Then we have Roger Clark, and then Chris Fischer. Thank you, everyone, for remaining silent. I would ask you, while we're waiting for our next speaker, if we had an emergency up here and people needed to vacate, can they get out safely? If you're blocking the ability for someone to get out of this room safely, I would again ask you to go ahead and find a seat. And Mr. Krokkey, your time is
I just want
ready
to
to
say
start.
I have nothing as deep as that was just now, so very interesting. My name is Rob Krokkey. I live at 320 Wright Street in Ward 1. I'm actually here on behalf of some homeowners who live around the Wright Street Park, which is in Ward 1, not far from 6th and Union. At the moment, the park is largely an open space with an outdated playground on the north side and gravel running track that loops around the perimeter. But sometime this month, they're going to begin construction project to upgrade and redevelop the entire park with a new playground, dog park, a whole bunch of circular sidewalks, grass, other amenities, which is really nice. I live in a townhome that backs right up against the park on the west side, and up until a couple months ago, I was on the HOA board of my complex. And because of this, I've talked to a lot of my neighbors. I know a lot of people that live there, and I've had a lot of conversations with folks about the park redevelopment. The general mood is that people are pretty happy that the city's decided to give the park some attention and an upgrade. But I'm here to kind of express that there's some concerns about from those of us who live around the park that it's being a little over-designed. The biggest concern is that the amount of trees that they're going to plant. The designers told me that there's 221 trees going to the park, and other folks have heard 240. The park is only about 10 square acres, and so that's about more than 20 trees per acre, which will turn the park from the really beautiful open space it is right now, with really nice views that we all like, essentially into a forest. The other addition is a lot of circular sidewalks at the expense of a removal of a gravel running track. Even every day, joggers are out running on that track. My house overlooks it, so I see a lot of people out there jogging, and I've spoken to a lot of them, and they're a little bit bummed that they're taking the track away and installing a lot of sidewalks which are loopy and not really conducive to running. While they were still in the phase of doing the development, launched a change.org petition online to request that the park be kept about 75% open space. I see I'm running out of time here. Got a lot of response from the people, a lot of signatures from the people around there. But by and large, the committee did reach out to the residents, and get do a lot of their taking a lot of their considerations. I'm trying to summarize here. Sorry. Oh shoot! No, it's just this thing's screwing me up here. I'm almost run out of time. Anyways, we're just basically asking Ward 1, I was trying to get in touch with the folks there to see if maybe they could kind of scale back a little bit, a couple of things. Everything else is really kind of nice, but it'd be nice if they, especially the trees and some of the stuff that they've kind of over-designed a bit, the people there that are living around it, that are homeowners, are actually very concerned that it's going to be a little bit too much of an amusement park. So that's all.
Thank you for sharing that.
As I was
Thank
saying,
you
not
for
as
coming.
serious as the other stuff that came up here.
Roger Clark.
Hello, I'm Roger Clark. I live at 2215 Teller Street, and I'm kind of echoing what they're saying about 10th Avenue, or 10th Street. We have a park, Aviation Park, which there's at least 20 people camped there now. So fortunately, when they leave your place, they're going to come over there. So it's like whack-a-mole. Y'all just keep whacking them, and they move, and they move, and they move. Nothing's really being done about it. We had this gentleman come try our door at 12 o'clock in the morning. I have to be at work, I have to get up the next day at 5. So we call the police. We run him off. They don't find him. And so next day, the neighbors' kids are screaming. And so what's going on is he fell asleep, I guess, in their chicken coop. He had chickens on him. High as a kite, had several warrants out for his arrest, although he was roaming around the neighborhood trying to get into people's homes. Fortunately, we're also scared that we lock our doors religiously. We don't leave any bikes out. Make sure the garages are shut. I just don't feel safe anywhere. It's a constant problem and that's not being addressed. But I think that pretty much settles it. So hopefully it gets cleared up there. It's a problem all the way. I drive up Colfax every day for work. I see so many camps. I'm like, why is that just allowed to happen? Why are RVs? I see the same RV constantly all over the place, being moved, whack-a-mole, just moved around, not being addressed. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Chris Fischer. And then Alexi Fernandez.
My name is Chris Fischer. I live in Ward 2, along with several of these other people here in attendance tonight. I've wrote a statement in preparation of this, and I would like to read it out. So, distinguished members of City Council, thank you for your time and the opportunity to speak on what is becoming a growing epidemic in the 2nd Ward of Lakewood. I'm a seasoned cybersecurity engineer and have worked with police for over 20 years in chain of custody and providing evidence and solving crimes, particularly cyber crimes. So believe me when I say that I am seeing a large gap in what should be administered from our law enforcement. I also see that Chief Smith is in attendance here tonight, so I would like to specifically note that this is squarely on his shoulders. At this moment, they're noting criminals and people falling asleep at their house. Our home was robbed for the equivalent of $30,000, and I was robbed at knife point by one of these drug addicts. So, and I have no sympathy for them. I have no ill will towards them, but I do want this to be taken care of. The response I've gotten from our local police department has been anything but helpful. Everything from being talked down upon while asking for updates to being told there were more important crimes going on. And, to keep out my own eye for my own merchandise to solve my own crime. That doesn't seem like a response that should be considered acceptable from a police department who we pay our tax dollars to protect us and make sure that crimes get resolved in a prompt and swift manner. While I do not dispute the validity that there is a lot more important things going on than a burglary and a robbery at knife point, I would state that, I don't think that we're getting what we need to get as citizens here. And I'm pretty sure that that's been echoed very clear to all of you by the 4 or 5 people who have spoken about this now. And this is not just the neighborhood of 10th, this is encompassing almost the entire north area of Lakewood. Everything from Colfax and Wadsworth, maybe even Colfax and Sheridan, all the way down to Carr, Garrison, beyond. So I've been told that this is due to a jurisdictional issue. As I understand it, a lot of these drug addicts camp out on the north side of our light rail, and essentially the RTD sergeants that I've spoke to and the uniformed officers and sergeants that I've spoke to from the Lakewood Police Department seem to pass the buck back and forth. There seems to be an argument over, who shows up and when. So essentially what I've been told is Lakewood Police Department will not go and monitor that area, will not check for crime unless requested to do so by RTD. That appears to be an issue of policy to me, and it is for that reason solely that I bring this to your attention along with these people, because this needs to be resolved in a quick and prompt manner. As she said, preferably tomorrow. It would be great to start having a little bit more response. I've left 2 voicemails for him. He won't even call me back. So, this is, it's too much. But I appreciate your time. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Alexi Fernandez, and I'm a proud resident of Ward 2. I recently heard someone say you can't say keep Colfax in Colfax, but the truth is Colfax is in Lakewood. And when we talk about the Emory site, we're not just talking about real estate, we're talking about an opportunity, a chance to bring a resource navigation center to a location that actually makes logistical sense, instead of placing it once again on the shoulders of Ward 2. So let's stop making decisions behind closed doors. Let's have public discussions right here, right now, with transparency and accountability. Ward 2 has been taken advantage of for too long. Speaking of Ward 2, my ward representatives voted for a $500,000 special election to decide if Lakewood was tired of developers paying their way out of parkland. But what would it accomplished, or what's the point of a vote if the council just overturns the will of the people? We live in a home rule state. Colorado law would have backed us. This upcoming election in November will be more than a race. It will be a referendum. I'm running to protect our green spaces and to fight corruption. And what I mean by that is getting big money out of politics. Real change cannot happen without that. And by implementing real transparency and accountability, making governments more efficient and responsive to the people. And while I have the floor, I want to acknowledge it's National Police Week. It's sad that the council didn't acknowledge it. My father was a proud NYPD officer in New York City's Manhattan Lower East Side for over 30 years. He didn't always get the respect he deserved, but he loved his job. To the officers here and everywhere, I see you and I honor your service. Just please, no more arresting judges or mayors, okay? That being said, more recent events shows us that we are unprepared. The Common Council is 5 steps behind when we should be ahead of it. What happens when the raid lands here? We should have addressed issues like this long ago. To the residents of Lakewood, I want to hear from you. My number is 720-512-0536. And also, I want to thank the people in the back. Keep standing, keep fighting. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and that concludes our initial public comment for this evening. We will move on to the consent agenda. Councilors, do we have anyone that wishes to pull any items from this evening's consent agenda? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please read the consent agenda into the record?
The consent agenda